Valliopolis. A few days later, Kingdom of Vale. Jaune was walking around in Vale as he was exploring since it was a semestral break. He contacted his team to meet him as they can spend the time hanging out. But his attention was taken by a familiar feeling. He ran to a store. Jaune found himself in a jewelry store, and he found what he was looking for. Clerk, may I help you? Jaune, I want that. He points to the content of the case. Image by Vengix5. Clerk, are you sure, sir? It's very expensive. Jaune, what's its price?
Clerc, 25,000 liens.
Jaune hands over his bank card as his savings from the allowance of Headmaster Ozpin and Polendina was given throughout the 6 years of his life. Jaune, I'm just glad I'm not a materialistic person, so I never bought anything for myself. Clerk, thank you for your purchase, sir. I hope you enjoy. Jaune picks up the emerald and felt another surge in chaos energy. He exits the store only to bump in a familiar chocolate-themed duo. Velvet, I'm so sorry. Coco, Bun, what did I tell you about watching where you're going? Jaune, don't worry, you didn't cause permanent damage. Coco, hey, isn't that the guy that you told me helped you, Bun?
Velvet, ah?
Jaune, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Jaune, like I said, I'm fine. You really should stop apologizing too much. Coco noticed the jewel in Jaune's hand. Coco, I never thought a guy would be into jewels. Velvet looked too and was fascinated with it. Jaune, it's not for showing off. It's more like what dust is for a huntsman. The two raised an eyebrow as Jaune showed that he created a more potent chaos spear. Then the two had their eyes widen. Jaune, it has a complementary link to my semblance. Coco, whistles, now that's a cool semblance. Velvet took a picture, she might get some ideas.
Coco then gave him a card, it was a lean card.
Coco, a little thank you gift for helping my little Bun. Velvet, Coco, Jaune, thanks, but I didn't do it for a reward. What Carden did to her pissed me off. As his ears wiggled as Coco finally noticed, because it blended well with his hair. Coco, you too, huh? Don't worry, I'm okay with Faunus. Jaune, well, it's nice meeting you both. I need to meet up with my friends a few blocks from here. He walks to a nearby bike. Jaune, we'll see you guys next time. Then he rode off. Coco, whoa. Nice pick there, Bun. You got good tastes. Velvet, Coco, it's nothing like that. It's I'm grateful to him, that's all. Oh, and a little warning, don't make him mad. He's the guy who gave Carden the high-pitched voice. Coco, you mean that was him?
Ah.
I should have given him a thank you smooch as well. Velvet, Coco. Meanwhile, somewhere in Vale near the port, Jaune saw his team and parked by them.
Yang, Woa.
Nice set of wheels there, bud. Ruby, cool. Blake just glances at him until she saw a familiar irritant. Weiss and her team was there to observe potential opponents for the festival. Ruby, hey, it's our sister team. She waves to Pyrrha, Nora, and Run. Nora, hey, it's Team Ruby. The two teams greeted each other well, almost all of them. Weiss was getting more closer to her team when she finally accepted Nora's quirks, as she found out that Run was the most sensible of her team whilst Pyrrha was slightly a bit more close guarded from before. Ruby, so what you doing? Nora, oh, Ice Cold leader wants to spy on the transfer students for the festival. Weiss, hey, I said we're here to observe our future classmates. There's nothing wrong with that. Jaune, yeah, observe from afar is no different from spying. No, sir. Weiss glared at the offending hedgehog. Young. So P-Money, how's the Miss Congeniality coming along? Pyrrha, me? Well, Weiss is difficult to get a handle on. Sometimes we argue on the plan, but overall we can work together. It's just she tends to be
Jaune habite. Yang chauffeurs rubies ears.
Weiss, why you? Beast. Jaune. Go ahead, prove my point. Then they heard a commotion. Police officer. Stop right there. Son. Haha, catch me if you can. Weiss. Quick, follow that guy. The teams and Jaune went after the ruffian. They turned the corner and Ruby smacked dab into someone.
Ruby, I'm sorry.
Penny. Oh, don't worry and fine.
Jaune, Penny.
Yang. You know here edgy. Jaune. She's Headmistress Goodwich's assistant. The group was surprised.
Ruby, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Penny. Don't worry. You're not in trouble. I was just shocked is all. Weiss. Did you see this filthy faunus who went past here? She pulls out a crude drawing of Sun. Penny. He bumped into me first, he should be.
Then the same guy was now running back and past them, and as he did he winked at Blake, who just raised an eyebrow.
Weiss. There he is, that's the filthy faunus. Blake. Stop calling me that. Weiss, what? Blake, stop calling him that way. Weiss, what's wrong with calling a lamppost a lamppost? And a trash can a trash can? Jaune. And what's wrong with shit covered in gold and calling it shit? Yang was now covering her sister's ears again. Weiss, what was that? Jaune. You hear me? You may have all the money and dust in the world, but that doesn't forgive the fact of how disgusting with the way you act. Weiss. Why am I the problem? My family has been a victim of attacks from all kinds of faunus. Jaune, and why do you think that is? Is it not because your family treats faunus as slaves? Don't they treat us as second-class citizens? Weiss. That's just my father. My mother, sister, and brother doesn't have anything to do with that. Jaune, okay, if that's the case. Why is it that you openly show your disgust towards me? I have shown no hostility to you since the day we met. In fact, you were the first to insult me.
Weiss,
Jaune, you say you're nothing like your father, and yet you treat faunus no different than he does.
Weiss.
Jaune, don't you dare judge others before you judge yourself. Did that old faunus attack your family? He points to an old lady raccoon's faunus with a tail. Jaune, did that little faunus attack you too? He points to a small dog-eared faunus boy playing with his faunus parents.
Weiss, no.
Jaune, then don't generalize. I know the white fawn attacked your family, but not all of us are bad. Blake fidgets in her place.
Weiss.
Jaune, I know what it's like to have a bad childhood, but I don't take it out on anyone. Jaune, tell me when you're ready. You don't have to force it now. Nora tried to cheer her leader up. Rin knows that Jaune was right, albeit harsh. Kira understands that Weiss is no different from her upbringing and decides to finally let bygones be bygones. It will be hard. It will take time, but they will be a better team because of it. The day ended somberly. Yang, it's a good lesson. Bar the cursing, I approve. Blake, well, it may be harsh, but every point he made was valid. Jaune, I just hate that fact that not only I received that hate because of the white fan, but every faunus is affected by it. I just want to do something about it. Blake was hesitant, but she steeled herself. Her team are good people. If they accepted Jaune a half faunus, so can she. Blake, guys, can I trust you? Ruby, you can trust us. We're your team. We're practically family. Yang, you got my word, partner. Jaune, I've seen many bad things in life. Whatever you say will not even bother me at the least. Blake, I'm a faunus.
She removes her bow.
Ruby, wow, they are so cute. She tries to touch them. Jaune, Ruby, don't. Touching a faunus trait is similar to a guy touching a girl's chest. You need the person's approval to touch them. Yang, Wow, never thought of that. Blake, there's something else. Yang, what is it? The air suddenly feels tense. Blake, I'm a part of the white van. Ruby and Yang, what?
Jaune,